right, so if you thought Facebook or Amazon posed the greatest threat to your privacy online, it might be time to reconsider. Two security analysts this week discovered a mysterious online database sitting unprotected on an open cloud server that contains highly sensitive information on over 80 million American households. Now, that data dump has everything from people's full names, dates of birth, home addresses, going as far as even income brackets and their home ownership status. Now, the analysts at VPN Mentor were unable to determine who the database actually belongs to and are now trying to track down the owners. For more on this shocking story, we're being joined by investigative journalist Ben Swann. So, Ben, this data dump has the information on some 80 million households, which means hundreds of millions of Americans in total, but it doesn't seem to contain social security numbers or other personal account information. Should people still be worried? What could identity thieves do with just kind of your basic household info?
Well, I think that the concern here is actually, when you read the VPN Mentor report, is less about what identity thieves might do and what actual physical thieves can actually do with this information. Because what makes it unique, as you mentioned, is it does not include social security numbers, which is a big deal. It does include, though, information about your household. It gives information about the names of the people in the household. It gives information about the physical address, and it also gives the geolocation of that home. And so you can actually pinpoint exactly where the home is. Then, using mapping tools on social media, you can actually determine, according to this report, when somebody is out of town and how far away they are from their home. And also using the information from the income brackets, get a pretty good idea of what kinds of items they might have in their home and the value of those items. So essentially what this report is warning about is less about the identity thieves and more about physical thieves being able to say, hey, here are people who are in a high income. This is where they live. This is their exact address, their location. They're out of town right now, and here's what we think they might have inside, and they come and rob your home. So that's one of the warnings that's being given here, is that very high-level cyber information being used to conduct just very basic burglaries and robberies that could occur in the physical world.
Wow, yeah, so this takes an interesting modern twist to the old cat burglar scenario that's lurking around your house. So the most bizarre aspect of this, though, is that the security the security firm found the database sitting on this, open cloud server. Nobody knows who it belongs to. How is that even possible in this day and age? I mean, is there a way in this day and age to have true anonymity on a server online? That seems odd.
So it is odd, and it's not quite right, because it's not true that it's anonymous and no one knows who actually controls it. Microsoft knows who actually owns that server. According to this report, and there's been a couple of updates here in the last few hours, apparently Microsoft has now taken this server offline. They were able to do so. So Microsoft actually knows who it belongs to. The problem is VPN Mentor and the guys who were able to find this leak, essentially they don't know who it belongs to because it's on a cloud server. They only have IP addresses, and IP addresses are not really accurate when trying to locate or pinpoint the owner of the server itself. And so the IP address, while it may be inaccurate, Microsoft would know. The problem is Microsoft is not saying. At the same time, VPN Mentor, this group, is trying to use public knowledge and public information, as they say, their words, to figure out the riddle of who actually owns this database. And I want to share with you real quick what they say about this. They say, like this, they're trying to figure out who the database owner is by using this. What service is used by 80 million homes across the U.S., but only in the U.S., and only by people over 40? What service would collect your homeowner status and dwelling type, but not your social security number? And what service records that you're married, but not how many children you have? So it's a kind of a riddle in and of itself. Like, what kind of group collects this very specific kind of information, but not the others? And that's how they're trying to kind of use clues and use the public's help to figure out what this service might be.
I mean, I kind of want to solve that now. Could it be like a home security, like ADP type thing, ADT? Could it be? That is
possibly.
That is very strange. So going back to the online stuff, though, I mean, you and I talk a lot about social media companies and how they handle our personal data, but here we are talking about a company or somebody that has access to our, at least
an
our
entity.
an entity that has access to somewhat sensitive information of like our homes, our if we own the home, are we married, our ages, stuff like that. Are we overlooking how we just kind of distribute our basic information now that we've been taught to, hey, don't give out your social security number, or don't be careful what you post online? What about that stuff, our basic info?
Yeah, I think we're living in a time where the average person is having to come to the realization that everything about you, your name, your age, your date of birth, your social security number, your income level, your marital status, the number of children you have, your habits, your shopping habits, everything about you is online. That somebody or multiple somebodies are collecting various amounts of data on you constantly. And they are computing and sharing and collecting and storing that data on multiple levels. And so what I think that the average person has decided is that we're just known. Privacy, as the word would be defined, does not truly exist in our modern society anymore. The question is, do we ever pull back and say, we want to go back to a time when there is some privacy? The problem is, how far do we go before we get to that point?
Yeah, I think privacy is out the window, and I'm sure by the time this is posted later on YouTube, Ben, I think a lot of our viewers are going to suggest the owners of this server for us. So maybe we'll solve the mystery. As always, Ben Swann, great chat. Thank you.
Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope you enjoyed the video. We have tons of content for you just like this. For more of RT America's one-of-a-kind news and analysis, be sure to subscribe and never stop questioning more.